Alright folks, these rounds are about 18 inches in diameter. That was about 19 and a half. 18 and a half, probably about the same back there. You're soaked. Yeah, you're soaked. Hey folks, welcome back to Around the Yard. It's about 40 degrees here today. We have very little snow left. We got about an inch of rain last night, high of 42 or 43 or something like that all day yesterday. So this frozen stuff that we did have is now mud and slush, and there really isn't a whole lot of snow left. Did a little bit of cutting here early in the video. I've got these two IBC totes just about filled up from using the 17VS-C. But I'm just a little shy here, probably a round or two, so that was kind of the job at hand here. I brought up another shorter ash log and got that cut into 4 rounds. I think 2 will fill these totes, and my game plan for the other 2 rounds is to run a kind of a side-by-side comparison. You guys will see that in another video here coming up, but basically the same size piece, or same size round, one going through the 17VS and one going through the box wedge. Do a little bit of a time trial, but also try and figure out which machine is going to make the cleanest splits. Maybe we can figure out something with trash and slash whatever's left over. Kind of what's down in front of me here, this is kind of what the trash is for these 2 IBC totes. So it's far less than the box wedge, I think. What I noticed when splitting, here's a good example. When you use the box wedge, a lot of times this bark will come off in the splitting process. With the 17VS-C, it doesn't come off. So I just peeled that off. So this is how they usually come out of the box wedge. So all that extra trash of bark is usually on the ground. Whereas with the 17VS or VSC, because you're only splitting with that one knife and there's really no shearing because you are just splitting, the bark tends to stay intact. And that's kind of what happened kind of all through this entire tote, is all the bark is still on. So something to consider for sure. Here's another piece. Half bark on, but I bet if I, oh yeah, see? So that's the trash that comes off with the box wedge. Doesn't necessarily come off with the VSC. And this has gotten wet and rained on here we had like an inch of rain, so everything's really saturated. So that's one thing to consider. With the bark coming off, even just sitting in the totes here, by the time this dries out, there's going to be plenty of trash in just bark that's loose coming off of these pieces. Whereas on the box wedge, it kind of comes off ahead of time. So something to consider. But here's this is emerald ash borer. Let's see, there we go. So you can see all those little trails and stuff. That's where the beetle eats through the cambium layer. And that's what kills the trees. So this, there we go. Kind of that 1/16 of an inch plus, kind of underneath the bark. That's what brings all the nutrients up to the tree, to the leaves, and transfers everything back and forth. So without that, the tree dies. So that's why we've got so much ash. We got plenty of ash borer on here, but plenty of dead ash. So, all right. So the task at hand, we get 2 rounds. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the outside one of both. We'll leave the 2 middles for our test because they should be as similar in size as possible. So, you guys around, we'll get these rounds loaded up on the lift. They're big enough here that we're going to do them one at a time. We're going to get them up, one, and then load the other one and bring the table up. So, anyhow, all right, here we go. Safety glasses, check. Ears, check. All right. Okay, we had this thing warmed up here a minute ago, so really, you turn the key, wait till it's done priming. And then you can split in kind of this idle mode. You can run the log lift. So here's the log, right? It was 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna grab this one first, and then we're gonna grab that one. These two should be the most similar in size for our head-to-head comparison. I want to show you guys something here. I figured this out the day before yesterday, kind of splitting. So these are 18-inch rounds. They go, I think you get the best bang for your buck if you quarter it. But then what I also found was it makes it a lot easier to re-split if you try and split with the grain. So like I'm gonna bookend these going this way, and then when you flip it, you're going with the grain again, and so it splits a heck of a lot easier. So just something to keep in mind. But you know, versus doing triangles or something like that, I think it'll still split. But if you're going for bundle wood, it's really nice to keep those rings going the same direction. Actually, you almost count rings here. I wonder. Oh, there's the pith. So there's, all right, hang on, I'm curious. 20, that's 70. That'd be right, 75. Boy, must have been a boulevard tree. 75 years. All right, let's get this thing fired back up again. closer to a fuller basket. So that's one round. You guys saw that nail I found. Kind of cool to be able to split around that, actually. If I'd have left it in there, probably would have forgot about it, and then be a good excuse for a tetanus shot next year. So being able to split around that was kind of a neat deal. So well, I made a few phone calls this morning and got a source on some more IBC totes. So hoping I can get those. I might get them delivered. There's a guy in my area, he's got a source for them, and he'll deliver them pretty much anywhere in Minnesota, maybe even western Wisconsin for some of you guys out that direction. I think it's $45 a tote delivered. Now that may go up or down depending on where you're located, but I think for where I'm at, it's 45 bucks. But that's door to door for him. So yeah, 45 bucks is about as cheap as I can find them, and they bring them to you. So I think I got a line on where his source is, but then I gotta get the trailer and I gotta get hooked up and I gotta pay for gas and what, you know, kind of a hassle getting down to where this place is at, I think. But I might be able to get twice as many totes if I go and get it myself. So we'll see. I don't know what to do yet. What do you guys think I should do? Go get my own, or just have them delivered and dropped off? What's I guess what's your time worth? That's the big question. I think one more round. Like this is pretty full enough for me, especially if I'm getting more IBC totes. Maybe might work. All right, let's get that other last round split up. Put you guys on a time lapse. Bit more stacking. So yeah, if you're looking for good bundle wood, boy, that VS-C, that's hard to beat. I like to stack mine, so I'm not sure that the conveyor is the right option for me as I'm thinking about this. I mean, this is my second or third day kind of running this thing, so not a lot of time on it, but I can see the benefit of having the conveyor for exactly this reason. We can kind of bulk load totes, but everything splits. I mean, even if it didn't come apart now after the drying process, it certainly would. Yeah, I don't know. I think I want to keep stacking in IBC totes because I know I can get more wood in here if they're stacked. That's where these are kind of loose stacked about 3/4 of the way up, just whatever fell in here. But then the top here is getting stacked just to make sure that we get enough volume, really. I know these are going to be light on a face cord, but Now that's kind of what I'm shooting for with the IBC totes, is a face cord apiece. Makes it a lot easier to count up at the end of the year. You know, how much did we get done? How much do we have available to sell? All that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at, I think, on. Sneak over here. Kind of get everything going every other direction here. As long as it doesn't fall out when I pick it up with the skid loader, that's what we're after. If it falls out and makes a mess, then there's just more work to do. There. Amy, what are you doing? There. All right. Well, that's what it looks like. So yeah, kind of a loose stack here at the bottom, and then really tried to stack the bottom or the top third here. That'll just make getting bundles out a lot easier. But yeah, this one got a little more loose, you can tell. Oh yeah, there's the line. There's loose stack to there, and stack probably the last rung or so. So lots of air in there. Maybe that'll speed up the drying process. Maybe it won't matter. But yeah. So there's 2 IBC totes with the 17VS-C. Folks, that's gonna wrap up today's video. We got our IBC totes full. I've got 3 more to fill, and then we gotta go source new ones. Really starting to enjoy this 17VS-C that Wolfe dropped off for our demo. I can see, I mean, we got really high quality bundle pieces. I really like the precision of this knife. You can you know, basically put that point wherever you want it. So I find myself, you know, getting, you know, doing those bookends, right? If you got 10 or 12 inch bookends and you're kind of making your way across, making your bundle pieces, you get to that last piece and it's kind of like a 2x4 type of trapezoid deal. I find myself splitting that last one because you get, you know, 3 really nice pieces of bundle wood and a nice little triangle. Whereas running on the box wedge, that 2x4 would just be the output. So I'm kind of tricking my brain here, going, well, that 2x4 would be plenty good to just run up the conveyor, but it's so easy to run another stroke on this and make 4 pieces instead of 2, that's what I've ended up doing. Kind of interesting here as I learn how to use this thing a little bit more. My goal is to use it kind of every day here for the next week or so while we're on Christmas break. Stay tuned for the next video where we put the 17VS-C head-to-head against the 35 SHO box wedge. We've got 2 very similar rounds over here that we cut out of the 6-foot log. So we ran the outside pieces just now. So either end we ran through here. The 2 in the middle we're keeping to do this demonstration. So 1 will count strokes, 2 count number of pieces, 3 will time it. I don't know if there's a before or 5. You guys leave a comment down below what you want to see kind of figured out, and we can figure it out in the editing process or whatnot. Try and do like stats at the end, how many pieces we got, how many strokes it was, the time overall. So yeah, that's kind of going to be the game plan. But these are 18-inch rounds, so I always figure that that's about perfect to go through the box wedge. It's just big enough to utilize the entire wedge. So that'll be the game plan. But at any rate, we're gonna head off to family Christmas number 3 here. So hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and you got New Year's here coming up, so hopefully that goes well for everybody, and we'll catch you later on the next one. Have a great day around the yard.